not named until our Texas soldiers returned home at the end of the war. The soldiers in Waul's brigade named the fort in honor of their esteemed leader. Thomas Waul, a South Carolinian, moved to Gonzales County, Texas, with his wife America Simmons in 1850, where he established a law practice as well as a cotton plantation. After a few years as a politician, he recruited Waul's Legion, for which he was commissioned colonel in 1862. Only a year later, he was promoted to brigadier general. Towards the end of his life, after again practicing law and farming, he died in 1903 and is buried in Fort Worth, Texas. Before the war, a person asked him, "Suppose Lincoln should be elected, what would you do?" Without a moment's hesitation, he replied,
"God Almighty grant that that day will never come. Yet should that evil day come, then, as under all circumstances, I shall remember that I am a native son of the South, and shall say as Ruth said to Naomi in the Bible, 'Whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge.'"
His discipline and valor became a household word in Southern homes, and it is evident that his personal gallantry and military skill was prompted returning soldiers to name the defense works near Gonzales in his honor. The undated map of works of defense near Gonzales lists forgotten Fort Waul as being 750 feet by 250 feet. The base parapet was 18 feet by 6 feet. There were bastions at each corner and a salient redan in the middle of the east and west walls. No matter how small the fort was, no matter how small the action was, or no matter how short the endurance of the fort, we should not diminish the amount of recognition this fort should receive. It is one of a kind, the only fort west of the Mississippi commissioned by Confederate President Jefferson Davis. This fort deserves to lose the title, the Old Forgotten Fort. In the late 1860s, the fort fell into decay. The stones from the blockhouse were used to construct buildings in downtown Gonzales. The remains may be scarce, but this little piece of history is worth saving. If the Union Army thought Gonzales was important enough to destroy, they made plans to do so, and the Confederacy thought it was important enough to save by building a fort, why shouldn't the rest of the world think that the fort is important enough to save? The location of Fort Waul near two major highways and an interstate will allow it to be easily reached by visitors who are attracted by the many historic buildings and memorials such as Come and Take It that are found in Gonzales. Because Fort Waul is important and because the people of Texas will be interested in seeing the fort to receive its due recognition, this fort is worthy of our attention, dedication, and efforts. According to the AR Consultants Cultural Resources Report, completed in July 1985, the fort needs to be maintained in a cleared and protected condition. Then a self-guided tour should also be developed and made available to tourists who might visit the area and Pioneer Village. Further research and excavation should occur, and history groups such as the Sons of Confederate Veterans and the United Daughters of the Confederacy should be made aware of the ultimate goal and be offered the opportunity to join the endeavors to bring this historical site to fulfillment. In addition, Fort Waul should be placed on the National Registry of Historic Places because of its significance to a major event in American history. City fathers should become totally committed to restoring the fort and maintaining the historic evidence therein to further Gonzales' image as a patriotic community. All efforts should be made to secure necessary financing and acquisition to identify and promote Fort Waul's historical significance. Lieutenant General Joseph Wheeler saluted the Confederate soldiers in his last order dated April 24, 1865.
Gallant comrades, you have fought your fight. Your task is done. You have exhibited courage, fortitude, and devotion. You are heroes, veterans, and patriots. The bones of your comrades mark the battlefields, and in bidding adieu, I desire to tender my thanks for your gallantry, your fortitude, and devotion.
Today, 140 years later, we must ask ourselves, are we honoring these gallant comrades, heroes, veterans, and patriots appropriately by ignoring old Fort Waul? Our task is not done. We need, as General Wheeler said, to exhibit courage, fortitude, and devotion to restore Fort Waul to its rightful place in the history of Gonzales, Texas, and the United States of America. In the downtown square is a statue erected in 1909 by the United Daughters of the Confederacy, Chapter 545. On one side, the inscription reads, "Lest we forget." Have we already forgotten? Let's hope not. The message is clear. Lest we forget. As you go on your travels, follow the road that leads you to Fort Waul.